Everybody, I just want to go ahead before the review and just let you guys know that I didn't know that Majin actually did the finals and actually the entire Battle Harden on just a few hours of sleep. So it kind of changes how I view the match. Maybe throughout the entire day of playing Kano, the entire tournament on a little bit of sleep can be detrimental. So that just want to let you guys know that he was down on a little bit of sleep. Everybody, it's Patrick at the Pitch Deck. We are going to be reviewing the finals for the Hartford Battle Hardened. It's going to be Yuki versus Majin, Kano versus Kayo. It is worth to know that they are first seed, second seed, so she chose for him to go first. It's a bit of a tricky situation whenever you do have the instances can pop up for Yuki when it goes to agile windups and things of such. So there are some instant shenanigans that she could do, but it's mostly just because of the extra damage that Kano wants to do on the opponent's turn. So I'm going to see a blaze. Yeah, we don't want blazing straight away. It's not the greatest target here. But we see a Kano, we can just go ahead and filter our hand a little bit, and it evens out nicely with just using all of this to get us back the two cards that we pitched. That's not bad. See what we got here. Actually, I do want to take note. Let's see what we have in his hand. Looks like a spindle, red spindle, wildfire, and a flare. Just can't tell which one it is. So 2 reds at least. I am not so sure about this one here. It is a red spindle. You could probably use it on your own turn. There is the chance of just saying play it. I'm not exactly sure if that's a red one or not. For the yeah, you don't want to let Yuki cycle off of just one card. So if he's passing, he probably doesn't have another yellow or another red. Sorry, another blue. So basically, he had 3 reds and a blue. At that point, I guess you could just shoot Spindle for. No, you won't have an arsenal at that point. So, it is a bit shit. You can probably go with Wildfire Flare because I think it's a red flare if he's not pitching to Kano again with 1 floating. So Wildfire, I would probably want to pocket the spindle in my arsenal. Already locking your arsenal with a Wildfire feels really bad. And you get the agility token here. The stuff you send sucks because it's just a really bad situation to start out with. Yeah, I want to say it was the red flare, and then you draw up from that. I think you honestly just. You could probably go with sending the spindle over pitching with 1 floating, which would be either your you can over pitch and go from there. If he wants to IP himself, I think you need to keep the spindle over the flare, in my opinion. But she's getting a good high roll here. Blood rush from the agility, so this kind of sucks. So pulping. This isn't really good for him. So runner coming in for 8s with the agility token to back it up because it had go again, so it creates a really powerful turn next turn, even off of a blood rush turn. So she's doing massive amounts of damage, setting up at the same time, so that's huge. which means if my turn, if I'm seeing this, I think I need to go ahead with a powerful turn of my own turn. So I need to make sure to. We have swell tidings here. Yeah, that doesn't really do much with this. But she was tapped out. Hang on a second. If it's wildfire with a flare, you even do. Well, let's see what he has in his hand first. It starts with a Kano. That's you're banking off RNG to help you push cards away on an agility might on the field. I don't like that. Okay, so I'm used to be this way, especially when it comes with flare into 2 costs. But I'm getting to the point where I want to strip cards from their hand, especially higher AB, because flare isn't the craziest impactful whenever you get them to pitch something, especially as a follow-up, you just 0 cost, maybe you might get lucky, or a 1 cost, you might get lucky. I don't know the ratio of 2 costs, but that should have been reversed. Now with the agility plus the might, you can just not take anything. However, she didn't have information hidden. So this is already a misplay as well. He took 10 damage to not get anything going with him, like tempo-wise. So he took 10 damage. I don't think this is the right way. I think this is a misplay. So yeah, he took the full 8 from Runner Runner and then the 2 from the Claw. So I think you need to say, toss this flare out. I don't know what's coming. Now he would have to burn something instead. I have 1 floating. He would have to burn the potion to be able to do anything that's a 0 cost. He doesn't have his tunic up on 3 counters, which then can allow him to play a 2 cost if he, or 1 cost off of the E-pop break, which then your high roll potential is going to go away. Getting them to strip a card plus getting this E-pot onto the field would be really, really, really good. Really good with the agility plus the might up. Now she can just take 4 and do not care. So this is just way less impactful. And if I had said something on my turn, like I can present the spindle in my hand. If he was saying that the spindle's an arsenal, I can block 2. I can save myself 6 life instead of 3 life. He beat him 23 and still present spindle with 1 blue. That other person doesn't know that the blue, that you would not have another blue. You'd have flare in your hand. So I think the spindle was probably the better play. But this is also fine. However, he does have wildfire in his hand. So, or his arsenal. I think if you were to reverse the ordering of this, it would have been a lot more impactful. Even though the Blood Rush was really, really, really good, it's still set up at the same time as doing damage. 10 damage plus a setup. Now the setup is like not even meaningful. Yeah, you just take this 4. This was a misplay already, like 2 misplays starting from turn 0. I like Spindle over your Wildfire because then you can dig for more Wildfire. And then swing big for 9. Go again. This is so bad. I'm already feeling the tempo loss from this. It's really, really bad. Because swing big is not as crazy with a 1 card behind as then maybe claw with resources floating. So now he has to take it. I'm not exactly sure what Yuki is deciding on. Keep note that she does have hardened cross strap, which is just as good of pressure without Barkbone. So there is, you can do that or Barkbone. So maybe I can actually, I can remove Barkbone out of my sideboard and just put Hardened Crossed. So she does swing Law. And it's only coming in for 3. So he's not dead yet. He can just pretty much pass onto his turn. So he does have Law. If he takes 3, that's fine. If he blocks, maybe go again off of another agile. Yeah, so it's 2 floating. You definitely need to take this. You need as much tempo as fucking possible. However, you're at 8. Oh, so he says no blocks, and then now she actually is giving a go again, setting up agility plus another might. So goes to 8, which means 2 attacks. Well, 4 full extension. And then 2 floating. Is she? He passes. Okay, so you have a potion. Tunic will be up to 3 now, which is probably reasons for him to just take the pass, because it's not too crazy. You don't have Tunic up, which is extra resources, but you do have a potion to help buffer with that. With 2 floating, if you've got a really good hand, you can push a lot of damage to make this agility really bad, which is what you're supposed to have done last time. And now we're getting the payback from not going with Flare last time first, because the agility would not have been set up last time. So you make her pay for the agility of the Blood Rush turn off of Runner, the agility plus the might. Then it's a lot less impactful for this potential turn. And you don't even get it to the point where she can use this yellow. She would probably just do this double blue play here, and then take a bunch of damage last turn, and still have she'd be down to 33 if she wanted to hold up for this exact play to keep the tempo, which she probably could have if he had reversed it. So we're still seeing the effects of the Flare not going first over the Kano. And the 2 float. I don't know. She's at 36. It's a good reason to pass, but like you have to take consideration. Just like go through your options. Of course, we don't see his hand. Now he's pushing for Lesson in Lava, which I'm not a fan. I love Lesson in Lava through my core, but this is only going to be pushing 1 damage if she AB3s. She notices that the arsenal hasn't been used. If we had the spindle been used last time and then we use this, she doesn't know what's going to be in the arsenal at turn 0. So here, I think you can probably take this damage as Yuki just to see what I search up. Like, you can try to deduce what's in the arsenal. You've got an agility plus a might, so you've got 2 reasons why you shouldn't take this. So Sin Packing, she does AB1. So, okay, she's taking my advice, but she's kind of guarding against future turns. So I guess that maybe it's a little bit redundant. Let's see what he searches here. So AB1 takes it to 33, which if we had done it before and the Flare had done some damage last turn, she'd be down to 29. Because if she wanted to have a full grip like last turn and then just take the Flare and run the risk of not seeing anything off the top, she'd be down 3 life. So she'd be down to 29, which would feel a lot better. Let's fast forward here. So he grabs Flare. Okay, so again, probably another mistake. let's take a look at what we have here. We have 4 resources that we can pop without our cards, right? He's not getting the full value of Lesson and Lava for a 2 cost. The buff isn't coming in for a higher buff. She can just AB3 if she really cares about this. So she has 1 floating. She can AB3, effectively nulling this away. You need to make the full value of the tutor effect. You have a 2 cost at your disposal, but you're searching a 1 cost. And to the point where you could use Tunic here, plus the 1 floating, to use 2 resources to pay for the spindle. If you have another blue, get another E-Pod or a Tunic, or sorry, another Tome. So the decisions he's making is mind-boggling to me. It's interesting to see what you're not getting full value. Okay, see, like what I'm saying here? Flare sucks when it's not buffed. You get what I'm trying to say. You are making her pay for the agility and might be less impactful, mostly just the agility. But she still has hardened cross straps, so she can use hardened cross strap, send an attack, whatever it's from arsenal, and you don't know what's coming. You don't know what's in her hand, hidden information. Now your turn is much less impactful. You can leak 1 more damage. If you had done it the route that I was thinking that you could do it from the beginning, if you use a red spindle, you could probably get 1 more chip damage in because of the AB3 is not as high as 4. So you can do chip 1, opt 1. Goes down to 28. You have a blue, which then you could probably see a pot on top. Or you can see another Ether Arc, which is again another chip, go down to 27 for her. So this is a little bit more... Oh yeah, he would have the ponder, but it doesn't matter. Which is like a secret tech for your spindles. It makes your Ether Arcs really, 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 really good. Like, really good. If he didn't have an arsenal, see, she can just harden cross strap here. And then send this. That's hidden information. This is fucking perfect. This is playing right into the key of having to give no information on this. You take 6. Now he's stuck at 32 to 2 if he takes 6. And then you're down to 2 life, which at that point you need to do some serious damage control to make it to where you can strip a lot of cards from her hand to be able to get back into this, because she can just send 1 attack and present lethal this entire turn. This is so bad from Majin Bei's side. This is incredibly bad. And it was like a subpar arsenal. So wait, hang on. Okay, hang on. She has a go again, doesn't use her hand to go with a claw to threaten lethal for 1 card, right? You go here? You go, what's his hand? What's his hand? Let me think here. Let's see what his hand is first. It could have been a really bad hand. He could have checked graveyard. He's probably just to verify that he didn't use it. Sometimes you forget. It's fine, but like typically if you blocking and passing and stuff like that. Spindle with a wildfire. You have potion plus tunic up on you on last turn. You send? Wait, do you have a blue? You have a blue? If he has the blue, this would have been a disgusting turn just to send. Hang on, I want to see if he's got a blue in his hand. If he's ever pitching like this, I think he might. And then this gives her information that, okay, so first off, you don't overpitch like this, right? you can still overpitch on the following Kano. So if you do this without the wildfire, you can still Kano, overpitch, wildfire. So this gives her more information. Again, his sequencing is a little weird. You're giving full information to your opponent that you have wildfire in your arsenal. She needs to be cautious about what she does next turn to not fully extend. So now she's AB2ing with Command and Conquer plus Wild Ride. So can't effectively use Wild Ride. Can't punish with the CNC. It is lethal, but I can just double block. So maybe she's biding her time and not necessarily having. It could be a bait. Blue plus red, and you don't know what your hand like from the arsenal and just threaten whatever. He has opt 3 for this one. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. He's down to 29. In my thought process, she was down 5. So she'd be down to 24 if you had gone my route with chip damage. Let's see. Yeah, this overpitch just does not work, man. I get it. You're wanting to do that, but you can Kano overpitch next time. Yeah, it's fine. Like, that's a misplay. That's the small misplay. Because here's the reason why this is also failing him is because he now has it locked where you could still use this decision in your next turn with 2 cards in your hand and use that for your combo turn next turn. You could have a blue in your hand. She's down 2 cards. You see 2 heavy, two reds that are heavy costed. You could use this wildfire for next turn. You could IP to yourself 3, IP3, whatever. You're holding up 2 cards and passing, which is not ideal, right? This overpitch definitely does not work until your decision. Now you're locking yourself out of decisions, especially with a AB2. So now you do have a blue, which he's going for pot plus tunic, which means first. Lesson in lava. Okay, so you're drawing 2. So lesson plus tome, I don't know the order of it all. Plus, was it a blue? Does he probably organize it that way? To guarantee a blue and then maybe try to go for blue? And now he's using Metacarpus. I'm very curious. Okay, so I don't understand the Metacarpus node here. If you get a blue from her hand, you're fucking happy, right? Okay, so like this could be a bait, right? This could be a bait. You could use Metacarpus on your own turn next turn, or sorry, on her turn next turn. If this strips a blue from her hand and you've got another blue in your backup, you can just hold it. So that the Metacarpus probably isn't what I would do. Only because she AB2s with 2 more reds, because that's just one of the things. Maybe she takes 3 and then she can send an attack. I'm not seeing the use of this Metacarpus main nodes. There's no point behind it. Unless he's trying to draw out the blue, but then she wouldn't give the blue now because then it's just not effective as well. He can still tutor with 1 floating. So still has Blood Rush. The 1 cost would be fine. I don't know why you would need Metacarpus node for that. you could probably still have wildfire in your hand, which then could be used for a 2-cost. Well, I would have to go back. No, you would have to overcall. That's right. You would have to overpitch for the Kano if you really cared about that. No, then you would have Kano pitch. If you really cared about it, the tome, you can save it off of the tunic, and then you'd have a wildfire in your hand. Pot still on the field if you cared about just drawing it for damage. Has another blue. He drew 2 blues. So again, now your second lesson of lava has 0 value. You let 2 slide and you're not using another 2. I get it. You have 0. You have 1 floating, but you should have thought about that when you went into your lesson in line lava turn. So force her to give you this blood rush. You have 2 floating. Okay, if I let him get a 2-cost, he can still play it. There's no reason for you to meta Carpus Node here. Now he's forced to use Blazing for probably more damage. He has a blue. And he can use it with the Metacarpus Node. That's a little extra damage, that's fine. But the value of your lesson in lavas are being negated. He had the first lesson in lava, didn't use the full value there. Now he's overusing the value of his lesson lava now here, but now she's passing with 1 card in hand. Which means she's probably hugely resource starved. 21 to 2. I think here you have to go. He probably has deck list to know. There's no fear in her deck list. Okay, he is going trying to see. Okay, Ether Arc, we like that. We like that. We get a ponder off of this wildfire turn. Even if it's less impactful, right? No E-Pot. You could have had an E-Pot out if you just wasn't as greedy with the lesson line there. You would have Metacarpus nodes up, which helps against No Fear. But I want you guys to understand that No Fear is not an oasis, right? It's a build around. So this actually does help out against No Fear. The wildfire can come in, plus the Ether Arc can soak up the damage that comes in from no Fear. So No Fear is shit. It's not shit. It's not as impactful as you might think. Let's just go ahead and say that. It's like Ward, but the banish of the 6-cost card is basically just replacing, and then there's nothing pretty much to do. So you get 2 blues. So you get a quickening. If you see 1 blue and you see a whole handful of blues, I think you just go for the rags there. I haven't been keeping up with blackjack counting. Probably has to think on this one. Oh, he's sending the Ether Arc and then let it resolve. Now she did 1 damage and then there's a ponder token. I am very, very curious on his thought process. I would like to see his thought process. That would be really good. Oh. Wait, did she take 1 damage? Oh, she might have not taken 1 damage now. He's sending the ponder. And now he's passing back to her? So AB2. Wild Rat. All right, so you've got a wildfire. He would see a blue off the top. Triple wildfire? Or sorry, not triple wildfire. Double wildfire for an Ether Arc. 2 on the first one, and you would still have Metacarpus nodes if you were doing it my way. I don't know. So yeah, wildfire wood is not as crazy now because of the nodes going away. On a just questionable play when it comes to the nodes and lesson lava. So it comes in for 5, goes down to 3. The next one comes up to 4 plus the 3, so that comes up to 7. So coming up to 7 plus the 4. 7 plus 4 on 21, because then he sent the Aether Arc. So 7 plus 4 on the 21 drops her down to 14. And then you go with 12? Because that's 11? No, I'm sorry. 7 plus the 1, so it's 8. 14 drops her down to about 6. Is that math correct? Oh, wait, did I go increase it? No, it's okay. Normal playback. I think you could have sent there. But if you didn't, it forces her to do it, to do the to pitch the card and do it that way. Now she has a might. Means claw. At that point, you're just questioning now why you are so far behind. Now she can just do this with the threat of you thinking, well, I'm going to go off now. I got to go off now. She would have to do a go again to kill me type of thing. As a red spindle. As it. Unfortunate. He's just so far behind with some of the values. His lesson in lava value, his red flare value. Has 2 blues. This is just so bad, man. Coming in for 9, 8. Has to block fully and then has a really good turn next turn. So yeah, there's a red that he had for if he had gone off combo turn, she would have had a wild ride still. And then a wild ride into go again. I'm already seeing the value loss, but he still has time to potentially kill here. We know she wins, but I'm trying to understand. I'm now understanding why he was behind so much at this point. Like she can just claw go again without knowing. So yeah, the go again is already prevalent. He has to swing now, and then she can hold up. This is why if you get behind so far, you don't want to get to that point where now Kano is just struggling to block or have all the resources in her hand. She has 3 cards in her hand. It could be 3 blues for all you know. And then you're just dead when it comes to certain things. At 20 life, he should have sent last turn. If he had done everything up to this point, he should have sent last turn. If I see Aether Arc off of double Wildfire, I'm going. I am 100% going. Because he had a blue that was the quicker Aether Quickening, and then he could just sent. This is fine. Because you're using it for its block value, which is good. One of the few reasons why. Dominate. So that's just what it is, man. You have to send now, but you're one card down. You're 1 card down. And there's a blue, so that's good. You're 1 card down. And then 1 card in hand and then 1 in resource. So yep, you gotta go now. Okay, so dart. That's not what gets you there. You need a blazing. Would have been nice. He doesn't have resources enough for everything. Yeah, writing's on the wall. This is what it is, man. So he saw blue plus Sonic Boom. Is there a world? Now we see it. We question it. Yeah, you don't have an extra, man. You really don't. He could force spell if he really wanted to, but he doesn't have an extra resource. He's missing an extra resource. Is he Kanoing off the top? So he would have seen a flare. Get one extra resource, one there. What does she have in her hand? A red sets 2. Going into 5, which goes for 2, 5, 15. Flare goes to 3. That's 12. That's still not enough for the dart, even if he had an extra resource. Yeah, I'm seeing the value lost with all of his tempo plays. He shouldn't have been down as far as he did. I probably sound like a broken record for the turns that I had mentioned. Turn 0, I can see why you're doing what you're doing for the wildfire. But I would probably value the spindle over the flare if he's just gonna say pass. But if you've got 3 reds plus blue in your hand for turn 0, maybe it's possible that you just hold on to the spindle over the flare. You can do what you did before. You can just overpitch, but you overpitch with a different card instead. I'm a big fan of not letting someone filter. I'm always that way. Yeah, you don't want to shoot spindle with no arsenal because then you just have a blue. Because if you say 2 reds for the spindle. So now she's going to do agile wind up here. Because with what we saw, he did it wrong to get the value out of the flare, which now if you just did spindle instead of the flare, you can double block here instead and still send 5, which then she may let it go, but then he perfects the entire turn. So if he double blocks here, he'd be up 3 life. So he'd be up here. He can either choose between swell and spindle, which I would choose spindle over swell. And you keep wildfire, which again, that's fine if you want to go that route, but you can just keep the spindle itself. Now we're seeing, do you want to give me a chance to get an extra opt or not? You could probably do the same exact line, block 3, and still send spindle with the extra blue in your hand. Then that forces you to have an opt 2 and a spare blue in your hand, which pays way into this. You've already stripped a card and you can opt to, you still have Tunic up, but then you could probably get a potion, which you see the potion here. You see the potion here. You get a free potion, take a card out of her hand, and do damage. You can do the exact same line, BN20, block 3 on the claw, and still do damage. Strip a card from her hand. This is insane. Or he gets to opt 5. Okay, so now we see the value not being used there. If he went with that line, reverse the order like I mentioned. She doesn't know, it's hidden information. Swing big. So the reason why you would strip a card, which would be really nice, she could still, like, you know, take the massive amount of damage or strip the card. She would have 2 blues and probably just go with a claw, or maybe set up next turn. Who knows? She could probably just send this claw in there and have 1 floating, which probably be the smartest play. Have 1 floating, send the claw or send the agile wind up to go next turn, or maybe bait it. I don't know. But then the go against wasted if she just passes at this as attack. So she can claw with. She would have 1 card stripped, and it's probably the extra blue. So then she would have 1 float, and then maybe pass, or maybe she could. And then if he tries to go off, which with 1 card in hand, 1 floating, you may not want to do that because then you can just accept the pass, take the 10. Because at that point you're wasting the go again, which is what you wanted to do in the first place when you stripped 1 card from her hand, which effectively nullifies runner just to be a 2 card 8. off of the buff. Now we see this one here, and which is fine. Just shooting this is fine, completely understandable. And what she did was smart, which is just AB1. Now, when she AB1s, you need to do a 2 cost to get the full value. If I'm understanding that correct, that she AB1 there, she has 1 floating after this and then went down to 33. So then you search a 2 cost. I don't understand it. You search a red spindle, use your tunic and the one that's floating, send it because you've already got a pot out, have her AB3 or you opt for with 1 card in your hand, which fixes your rags for next turn. Which would make it entirely scary for her to go, okay, I'm taking 4, going down to 29. He gets to go the entire look at my entire hand. And then the blood rush comes in. Value missed off of this lesson in lava plus the next lesson in lava. So he goes with the flare here. I'm seeing the value lost already off of a few turns in a row. Which will punish. See, now you have hidden information off of this. You have hardened cross strap. There's hidden information. She'd be down really good life. If she passes off of this, I would send with what I did if I optified and she just maybe done the exact same thing where she AB3s the spindle instead. You can opt to see what's on top plus a card in hand. Okay, you take this, you go down to 2, she'll just pass. Which is a sign that either she's very resource low, send now, she was at 20, whatever, 29, if she just let the spindle hit, or a little bit of chip damage already. So that pass was questionable at best. And then he still he has wildfire plus the spindle. Another spindle, which he probably would have seen. He could probably bottom the wildfire if he had seen it. Plus, he can probably go wildfire if she let the spindle hit. Keep a blue. There's just a lot of mistakes I'm seeing. But yep, that is my thing. I think I've gone a little bit too much with it, with analysis, and I think we've already gone over how much value he's missed on some of his lessons, his flares. He's pushing a lot of tempo here. The Metacarpus nose was very questionable. Very questionable. Overpitch when he didn't need to off of this spindle first off. You can pitch on the overpitch on the second one if you want to get it out of your hand. Now you locked yourself into using it potentially next turn. And you could have 2 cards in your hand and see the top 3 and still fix rags off of 2 cards. And she sends nothing. She has probably 2, I think it was 2 yellows now. Blood Rush plus the other one. The value is just being missed. That's all that it really is. I can see why she win, man. This main phase is not really what I'm thinking is good. Maybe he's trying to use a whole, like... maybe he's trying to do what Peter did, and I'm just not seeing the value. Because you're happy. You're happy if you get EB2 or something. Even a blue. You're stripping 1 card from her hand and you can probably keep the wildfire. The blue, I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. I play this way differently. There's potential that the tempo that she had was negated. But that's it. I hope you guys take something from this one over what he had done. I'm definitely down to see what other Kanos will say in the chat. Let me know down in the comments below if you see something that I might have missed a better play. Thank you so much for watching.